Dr. Nicholas Mercer with uImproved PT. I have my awesome father here who's having some shoulder problems that we kind of helped get rid of that pain and get him moving a little better. So tell them kind of what you came in for, how all this happened.
Yeah, so it happened just after I was doing some stretching.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to hang from the pull-up bar just to get that kind of swimmer streamline going. I did a little bit of twisting back and forth, came down, shook out, felt like everything was okay, but then all of a sudden I started having pains in my shoulders.
And where in your shoulders were you getting that pain?
In the front, right here, and a little bit right there on the side.
And it was both sides,
Both
right?
sides, it was bilateral.
Right. So if you see right here, we're going to turn him to the side here. As he comes up to bring his arms up, you'll see what he kind of does. His ribs are flared here, right? His lats are a little bit tight. So instead of getting this true shoulder extension, if we pull these ribs down, look where his arms actually go. So he doesn't actually have that range of motion. He's cheating it here, right? What does that have to do with the shoulders? Well, instead of these lats kind of stretching and letting these shoulders relax, they're holding on, and these the shoulders are basically pulling against each other. So we have, go ahead and relax. We have the anterior delt here, and as he told me, he was doing some bench pressing. He's been swimming for entire life, so that's a lot of coming through. So obviously he's got tight lats. When he's going to go overhead, instead of getting that true shoulder flexion, he's cheating it. This muscle, the anterior delt, is being basically overactive, trying to hold him and stabilize him in this position, in that range that he doesn't actually have. And so the pain in the front is coming from kind of what we call a trigger point, an activated trigger point, which if you look at Travell and Simmons, their whole trigger point theory, basically what that is a spasm right in the front here can cause a lot of pain that radiates to some other areas. Now, he didn't have too much radiating pain, but his symptoms kind of told me that there was probably something going on in here. And when we did some soft tissue manual work, I could feel a little knot in there, and that was not very comfortable when I was doing that, was it?
No, it hurt.
Right. And so normally, now with the pain on the side here, go ahead and lift those arms up again. We have this infraspinatus muscle, right, coming up through here. So if we have that anterior delt, it's actively trying to pull him, and now this is actively trying to resist him to stabilize that shoulder. Your infraspinatus is one of the rotator cuff muscles that's responsible for stabilizing that shoulder. So if he's constantly pulling up here, he's just hanging up here in that range of motion from the bars, everything, the anterior delt, the infraspinatus are fighting to keep that shoulder in a range that it's not comfortable with, right? So they both start to spasm. Go ahead and bring those down. And the infraspinatus normally will refer pain over to here because that's where it attaches. So all we did some manual work to alleviate that spasm on the front and the back. And now when he brings those arms overhead, he's not getting that pain as much, right? So we gave that spasm a little more blood flow, let it relax a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean this problem is fixed. So we're going to give him a few exercises to do at home so we can one, stretch the lats in a way that will actually stretch them and not put all that stress on the glenohumeral joint here. But also what we're going to do is give him some soft tissue techniques that he can do on his own. So the first one, go ahead and turn towards the front here. The first one is very easy because this is the front of the shoulder. It's very easy to access with your hands. You just come over and you do the same thing that I was doing, right? And it's not going to be comfortable, but it shouldn't be excruciating, right? And you just do that for a few minutes until those symptoms go away a little bit. Do that on both shoulders. A little harder to get your hands into the infraspinatus here. So what we're going to use is a lacrosse ball. So we're going to basically, if you turn all the way around, we're going to get that right in that infraspinatus here. So turn, and then lean up against the wall here and put some pressure into there. And he's basically going to move around until he feels, okay, that's a really sore spot. And then he's just going to hang out there, right? Maybe move a little bit. All right, try to get some of that blood flow back and break that spasm a little more. And again, just hang out there until those symptoms start to decrease. Move around, find another spot. Doing that on both sides, right? So that'll kind of manage those symptoms and the spasm and allow those muscles to calm down and relax a little bit. Now, I'll take that from you now. Drop. Got it. Now, that doesn't fix the whole restricted latissimus dorsi length. It also doesn't fix his posture. So what we're going to look at here now is, so we have a wide doorway here, but that's okay because we both got long arms. So in order to kind of improve his overall posture, because he does sit at a desk, work on a computer for about 8 hours a day, if not more. So we're just going to go through that doorway out to the side, open up the chest here, right? We're going to hold that for about 30 seconds, right? So give that a shot. And we're going to step one leg through so that we don't have to hold on with these muscles. It's all a stretch through there. And you're feeling that a little through here and through here?
Yeah. So should I be concentrating on relaxing any muscle when I do that?
Yes, and you really shouldn't be shaking, right? So if you need to, back off a little bit. But what you should be thinking about is opening up the chest through here. Okay? Holding that for about 30 seconds, doing that a few times. Doing it throughout the day, really. And then for the lats, instead of immediately coming straight up in that range that we want, but you don't actually have, we're going to come kind of out to the side, basically to the corner of the door here, and then dropping your body down. You'll still feel that stretch to the front here, but you should also feel a little bit of stretch to the lats, right? And that's what we want, that light stretch so that everything in that shoulder joint isn't freaking out, right? Let those shoulders, up. Through here. So you're probably feeling through here and just a little bit down through here, right? So we'll hold that stretch again for about 30 seconds and then we'll let up, move those shoulders around.
Yeah, I can feel it shaking.
Yeah, you feel the shaking? So back off a little bit so that we're not getting that shaking, right? And relax. All right, so this is just stuff to maintain what we did in the office here to make sure that that shoulder pain doesn't come back and we don't have any more problems with it, right? So so we're all good. Feel free to check out uimprovedpt.com for some more free information on not only shoulder pain, but also neck, hip, lower back, whatever you can think of. We got some solutions there for you, okay?